2 reasonable scoring chances for the Flames in those 6 shots. Maybe they'll get one here as Hoken Lube tries to dig the puck out from behind that St. Louis net. Risebrow out with him and Bosek. So the Blues are able to clear the puck to center. Ryan Sutter, number 11 for the Blues, their captain, shot the puck the length of the ice, and there's another icing call, and that brings me to this, Bill Clement. There may be a few of those and lots of whistles in a series with these 2 teams.
Jim, there may be lots of icing calls. That's just the typical St. Louis style, and I think we should point out now to people that are watching this series that have just watched Edmonton and Calgary, that if we could have chosen a team in the National Hockey League that was the closest to being an exact opposite of the way the Edmonton Oilers play, which is wide open, try to beat the other team by scoring more goals than they do, it's the St. Louis Blues. They will play a tight, boring, relentless checking game, but they're here in the semifinals, and it has worked for them.
It wins games. The Flames keep the puck into that Blues zone. Lanny McDonald intercepted as he tried to go for the puck, and it's cleared up over the glass for the stop-in play. These teams have both come off 7-game series, and we'll tell you exactly how they got to this semifinal in our first intermission. We'll look back at their previous series as you look at Doug Gilmour, leading scorer for the Blues.
But he's one of the guys that Bob Johnson likes to point out as being the St. Louis version of Mark Messier. You know, there's been quite a war of words in the newspapers, and every coach wants to get the psychological edge. So St. Louis Jock Demers coach comes in here and says, listen, the Flames are definitely the favorites. We're the heavy underdogs. And to counter that, Bob Johnson says, no way. The Bernie Federico is there, Wayne Gretzky, and Doug Gilmour is there, Mark Messier. So there's a battle of words going on in the papers, neither coach wanting to give way.
That will give way to the battle on the ice, and it's all just underway tonight as they feel each other out in the early going here. No score in the game. Blues have the puck. There's a shot from the point by Rick Natras, and it hooks up on the mesh behind goaltender Mike Vernon for another stop-in play. 10:51 to play in the first period. There's one of the former Montreal Canadiens on the St. Louis Blues roster. In fact, there are 8 of them on their playoff roster.
Well, there are a lot of people on the St. Louis team. You know, out of the 26 players on their roster, and we should point out at this point that they really don't have a minor league system, but all of their players are here with the team. All 26 of them. Of the 26, only 8 were draft choices. 15 were trades, 2 were free agents, and 1 was a purchase. Somebody was purchased for cash, if that isn't the ultimate slap in the face for somebody that wasn't wanted. Sure, we'll go ahead and sell this guy to you.
Joel Otto is number 29 for the Calgary Flames. He dumps the puck in. He had a great series against Edmonton. Joey Mullen, the former Blue, in the corner, mixing it up with a former teammate, Greg Pazlowski, and they get yet another stoppage in play. There's the former New York Ranger Nick Coutinho, who was suspended for 1 game while playing in the Edmonton series, missed the last 3 games of that series, and is back in the lineup to play against the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah, he got running around in one of those Edmonton games, as he can do. I mean, I played against him for a number of years, and anybody that's watched this guy knows that he's a fan's favorite, Jim. He runs around and gets things stirred up, but every once in a while he gets a little too carried away. That's what he did in Edmonton. Ended up paying for it in the form of a suspension. You can see the marks on his face. Another guy that the Edmonton series took its toll on. Gosh, this series, we think, will not be like the Edmonton series in the sense that Edmonton series was a very, very vicious series. And I would think that we will see a little more hockey than we will hitting in this series.
Lee Norwood trying to dump the puck in for St. Louis. Gino Cavallini into the corner, takes a hit. Here comes Mark Reeds with a shot, kicked out by Mike Vernon, who was sensational as well in the win over the Edmonton Oilers. Now here's Reeds into the middle. Wickenheiser's shot, end over end, goes wide of the net. Neil Sheehy trying to clear it, he can't. Here's Reeds, and checking forward, putting the puck in front.
Boy.
1-0 Blues.
Jim, it looked almost as if Mike Vernon misplayed that. It was a trickler. It wasn't even a dangerous shot. I don't even know if he was trying to let the shot go. Mike Vernon came out with the stick as if he was anticipating something else, and the puck just trickled between his legs. We'll pick it up on the right here as it comes around the boards. Now that is an attempted pass, and Mike Vernon had his stick out there to try and cut the pass. I don't think he thought that his defenseman was going to be there in time. The intended recipient of the pass was Gino Cavallini, but watch this. You'll see the puck act. Mike Vernon will choke up on his stick, go for the pass. Boy, kind of a crucial error for the young guy that Bob Johnson showed a lot of confidence in that Edmonton series, and asked him this morning just how far can he go, and Johnson said that he's going to find out just by playing him, and until he folds, he's going to keep working with him.
You go with the guy who's got you where you are.
Absolutely.
However, a bad goal, an easy one, gets the Blues on top 1-0 as the Flames come back. Quick Walmsley stops Nick Batiu's shot, digging for the puck in behind the net. Bourgeois, the former Flame, knocked down by Batiu. A couple of tough guys go down to the ice. Joel Otto out of Bemidji State is after the puck, trying to center it. Can't do it because he can't find it. It's in the legs. Scrappy play behind the goal. A centering pass. Mark Hunter picks it up for St. Louis, number 20. To Bernie Federico, backhanded in over the line. The Flames take over again. 1-0 St. Louis. Here's Doug Risebrow, number 8. To the line, drop pass. Mullen fakes the shot. Knew it would be blocked, so he held on to it, dumps it into the corner. And taking over is Bernie Federico for the St. Louis Blues. To Rob Ramage, trying to get it rink wide for Brian Sutter, who played briefly in Game 7 against Toronto and seems to be back at a full shift here tonight. Here's Doug Risebrow trying to center it. Håkan Loob was knocked down. Now comes Bernie Federico. His pass across the ice to Sutter. Sutter shoots. Vernon came out and cut down the angle, making an easy save. Federico has Lofty after the puck along with Sutter. It's cleared by Paul Reinhardt. And out comes Steve Bozek to center, number 26 for Calgary. Bozek goes after Gilmore. They bang and crash into the boards, and the puck is underneath the Flame as he's swallowed on the ice. 8:14 to play first period. Flames and Blues are scoreless. To Bill Clement back in the Saddle Dome in Calgary. If you just joined us, 8:14 to play in the first period of Game 1 in the Campbell Conference Final, a best-of-7 series between St. Louis and Calgary. The Blues lead 1-0 on Mark Reed, third at the playoff from Wickenheiser and Cavallini, and here's a look at it. It's a pretty easy goal, Bill.
Well, it sure is. It's one of those gift goals that you really... It might have hit Perry Berzan's skate. That's what we missed on the first couple of replays.
That angle shows it much more clearly. Off the skate of Berzan and in the net. 55-year-old Badger Bob Johnson out of the University of Wisconsin, amongst other stops.
And Jim, when we left, Doug Gilmore, the guy that we're looking at right now, was whistled off for an infraction, and the Flames are going to get a shot at the power play now. And talking about Bob Johnson, he's got 3 kids living in the United States that are watching anxiously, I guess. They were really watching anxiously in Game 6. Probably the most anxious was his daughter in San Diego. He was telling me this morning that he's agreed to give his kids a new set of golf clubs if they beat the Oilers. He agreed before that series started, so there was a frantic call after Game 6 that the Flames lost from San Diego. Needless to say, the new golf clubs are on the way because the Flames went on to knock out the Oilers, and that's why we are here.
Calgary Flames on a power play, 0 for 1 with a man advantage tonight and trailing 1-0. Blues moving it out. Their penalty-killing unit up front is Rick Mahar with Mark Reeves. Mahar to Reeves. The pass was behind him, and the Flames turn it up ice quickly. Gino Cavallini coming over the boards. He was as Lanny McDonald took the shot, and Rick Walmsley knocked it to the corner. Mahar is down on top of the puck, and he gets the stop in play early in the penalty. 1:26 to go in the penalty.
Might be a good time, Jim, to talk about some of the injuries in this series. Brian Sutter, we mentioned, is playing. He was St. Louis is here, I would have to say, in spite of the fact that Brian Sutter was injured. It's a known fact by anybody that plays against the St. Louis Blues and anybody that follows hockey in general that Brian Sutter is the heartbeat of the St. Louis Blues hockey team, and he broke his shoulder blade back in January, came back and re-injured it March 8th, and re-injured it in the first game against Minnesota when he got into a tangle with Big Willie Platt. He dressed for the 7th game of the Toronto series, and I think it's safe to say that his presence alone was inspirational and symbolic.
Reinhardt with his shot off the face-off. Walmsley got a piece of it, steered it wide of the net, and the Blues are able to knock it out to center. Calgary on a power play. Flames without a key defenseman that would normally be out on this power play. Gary Suter. Knee ligament damage in Game 7 against Edmonton. He's out of the lineup as the Blues shoot the puck the length of the ice once again.
And Jim, that's going to put a big strain on Paul Reinhardt. You know, he missed most of the year and last season with a back injury. With Suter out, it's really going to put a strain on him to provide most of the offense that Suter was providing back there.
Less than a minute to go in the Calgary power play. Håkan Loob is in deep. Back to the point to Reinhardt, 23. To Al McInnes. Back to Reinhardt. 3 players in front. Loob takes the pass. Nowhere to go with it. He was covered very quickly by Lee Norwood, the defenseman number 23, who falls down on the puck.
And I'll tell you one thing, Jim. If there was one thing Håkan Loob wished he was at that instant when he got the puck, was a left-hand shot.
Yeah.
he was on his forehand, so when he got the puck, he had to turn all the way around. That gave Norwood a chance to go down in front of the puck. And make no mistake about it, if Hockenloob had gotten that puck in the right spot on the other side of the net so that he could have shot in one motion, bing, he would have just nailed it. But he had to turn all the way around. Kind of interesting that they have him on that side too. Bob Johnson, I would think, would rather have a left-hand shot, but sometimes your most gifted offensive players don't always shoot the way you'd like them to shoot. You know, you have to go with who's ever right-handed or left-handed.
Put them out in the ice and let them go no matter how they shoot.
Yeah. Unless you're really gifted, there are certain players that can switch hands. Not many, though. Gordie Howe was one of the first.
Neil Sheehy now on the point. Calgary's changed up its power play unit. Here's Steve Bozek, number 26. Sheehy shoots it quickly. One time to just wide of the net. Mark Reed comes up with a puck, moving to center with Rick Mahar as they kill this penalty. Just 19 seconds left in the penalty to Doug Gilmour, and there was an offside call. Trouble again tonight hearing the whistles in here, so you have to watch the players hold up.
Yeah. And you know, a lot of times fans will come into the buildings with whistles, and it makes it so difficult when you're on the ice. You start hearing them early in the game, and pranksters are sitting up there as if life wasn't tough enough for some of the guys on the ice. When you're in the middle of the Stanley Cup Playoffs, people start blowing the whistles, so the word goes out. Referees come over to the bench and they say, listen, for some reason there are more than 3 whistles here tonight, so when you hear one, don't stop playing unless you're sure it's us.
You look at Rick Mahar, he's a 32-year-old elder statesman of the Blues. His 9th year as a pro, but his first year in NHL playoff competition. Think he's excited?
Boy. Actually, of the 4 players that are the oldest players on this St. Louis Blues team, none of them have been in the semifinals before.
Late in the penalty, 5 seconds to go in the penalty to Doug Gilmour. The Flames have moved in again. Here's number 26, Steve Bozek. Delaney McDonald around on the boards. Gilmour is out of the penalty box. The shot towards the net was blocked by Hunter. Hunter trying to get the puck out front. Centering pass to Reinhardt. Didn't get much wood on it. He bounced it up over top of the net. And the play is called. 6:03 to go in the first. It's St. Louis 1, Calgary nothing. Mark Reed has the only goal of the game, an easy one off the skate of Perry Berezan. 9:57 of the first period. The time of the goal for the St. Louis Blues.
You mentioned an easy one, Jim. You know, at the end of the season, you like to go around and tell your friends they're all 40-foot slap shots from just inside the blue line, and you get away with it when the people haven't seen the game.
Too much videotape around now.
Take it easy on the kid. He has to walk through the summer telling people that he scored a big one in Calgary.
They're all big in the playoffs.
They are, and I'm anxious to see how Calgary does. You know, they scored the first goal against Edmonton in 6 of the 7 games in that series. They're behind now. It'll be interesting to see what their game plan looks like. I would think that Bob Johnson will just say, listen, we're very early in the game. We are not going to change one thing.
Here come the Flames, 3-on-2 to center. Perry Berezan is number 21. Going for the net is Colin Patterson. Trailing is Jim Poplinski. Berezan centering pass. Poplinski goes after it behind the net. He centers it, and it went off his skate and comes all the way to center. Paul Baxter is number 4 back after it. He's back in the lineup because of the injury to Gary Suter. Has been sitting out through the Edmonton series as the Flames move in offside. With 5:29 to play in the first period, a 1-0 St. Louis lead.
There's a big man for the Calgary Flames, both in stature and in heart. He is part of the big moral fiber that runs through this team, along with Doug Risebrough and Lanny McDonald. Boy, and John Tonelli. Guys like Jim Poplinski, the guy you're looking at, really provide this team with the leadership that will probably help to overcome one of the obstacles they have right now, Jim, and that is overcoming the letdown, having beaten the Stanley Cup champions in the quarterfinals. And one of the problems is this town will not let them leave them alone. You know, they want to keep going back to the fact that they beat out the Edmonton Oilers, so they actually have to fight against the influence of their own hometown crowd and press at this stage.
The Flames with the puck now in the neutral zone. Al McInnes plays it to Paul Reinhardt. Cut off at center by Doug Gilmour, then he lost it, and they got it back. Gilmour shot.
Boy, the kid made it look routine. But rest assured, it was anything but routine. It was a quick release right from the center of the ice. Now watch Vernon's glove hand. Boy, before we were joined tonight, when the start of the first period and people missed our, we saw him make a couple of dandies. One was after the whistle, and I know when we started up, you said that there weren't many good scoring opportunities. Well, that one was after the whistle, so technically it wasn't a good scoring opportunity. But boy, this kid has a great, great glove hand, doesn't he?
He does indeed. 23 years old, was buried in Salt Lake City of the International League as recently as January, where Wayne Thomas former New York Ranger goalie, worked with him and got him back up here. Did he ever?
He's got a great attitude. You know, he was here when I played in 1982, my last year. He'd already been drafted by the Flames. And you could tell then that, not even talking about his ability, but attitude-wise, the kid was really made of the right stuff. He had a real positive attitude.
Off the face-off, to the right of Mike Vernon, the Flames take over, then lose the puck. Here's Mark Reed, turning, passes it off to Doug Wickenheiser. He's trying to get it out front. Here's Gino Cavallini, another of the former Flames in St. Louis, to Mark Reed, trying to wrap it around and stuff it in, and he put it right through the crease. Neil Sheehy cleared it to Otto, who was knocked down, but the Blues almost kept it in, then it was tipped out to center. Here's Cavallini again, number 17, faked the shot, moves in on the left wing. Sheehy cuts him off and takes him to the end board. Joe Mullen comes up with a puck ahead to Joel Otto, number 29, moving to center. Otto cuts to the middle, and then is poke checked, and the puck comes outside the line. Joey Mullen has to wait for a mate to get onside. Dumped back in by the Flames. 4:20 to play in the first period. St. Louis 1, Calgary nothing. Opening game of the Campbell Conference Championship, a best of 7 set. Here's Paul Reinhart, number 23, knocked down by Eddie Beers. Beers, a former Flame, got a big hand as they introduce the players here tonight. Paul Reinhart is number 23. Ahead at center for John Pinelli. Pinelli dumps the puck in. He'll move in with Berrazan and McDonald after it, but the Blues quickly send it out, and they do that so much, just dump it out along the board. That's the way they play. Beers gave the puck away to Lanny McDonald. Moving in over the line, McDonald looks around, took a shot that was an easy save for Rick Wamsley. Kept in by the Flames, centered by John Tinelli, and picked up now by Eddie Beers. Beers with a long shot, kicked out by Mike Vernon, and Al McInnes takes over. 3:26 to play first period, 1-0 St. Louis. After the puck is Berrazan, fighting for it along with number 28 of the Blues, Greg Paslowski. Coming up with the puck is Lanny McDonald. Stick handling into a crowd, he dumps the puck to the boards, and the Blues just send it back out to center. Dump and chase, may see a lot of that here. Another pass that's cut off, this time by Paslowski, and again he just dumps it out to center. 10-7 of the shots on goal favoring the Flames, but 1-0 is the score, St. Louis. Here comes Doug Rysbrough, number 8. To Bozak, he chopped at it, didn't get much of a shot away, and it went wide. Rysbrough, number 8, trying to center, can't do it against Bruce Bell. Bell chases his man to the point. Bozak takes over, a backhander, Wamsley on his knees, makes the save, and there'll be a slashing call on the play as well. The score, St. Louis 1, Calgary nothing. Game, but once again they'll be short-handed as Bruce Bell has gone to the penalty box.
Boy, you know, when you talk to the coaches the day of the game, Jim, you try and get a feel for what their game plan is going to be, and they naturally don't want to divulge all of their secrets. I have to wonder if Bob Johnson's game plan is not to dump the puck in. At least 6 times in the last 2 minutes of play, the Calgary Flames came to the St. Louis blue line, ran into a wall of Blues, and instead of jumping and chasing, they were trying to beat them. Well, they are playing right into St. Louis's hands. If that's the way they want to play, it'll be a real long series for them.
Bell is off for slashing. 17-19 the time of the penalty. Flames in the power play for the 3rd time. They're 0 for 2. Joey Mullen to the point to Jamie McCowan. Hoken Lou moves the puck in now. Here's Reinhart trying to center it. Knocked away by Rick Mahar. And Mahar will just dump the puck the length of the ice. And the Blues will change up their penalty killers. Gilmore comes out to join Mark Reed. Rick Natras is number 27. Lee Norwood, number 23 on the penalty-killing unit. In come the Flames. Joel Otto to the corner. Mullen doesn't go after it, so Gilmore gets a free crack at it and sends the puck the length of the ice with 1:15 to go on the penalty to Bruce Bell, and under 2 minutes to go in the first period. Here comes Hoken Lube on the fly. Drops it for Lanny McDonald, anticipated by Doug Gilmore very nicely. And number 9 for the Blues does a nice job of ragging the puck and killing some time on this penalty to Bruce Bell. Here's Jim Pavese, number 35 for St. Louis. Killing some more time, down to 50 seconds left in the penalty.
Boy, Jim, I don't want to take anything away from the St. Louis Blues. They're obviously a good hockey team because they're here in the semifinals, but right now the Calgary Flames are making them look great.
There the Blues are again, lined up across the blue line, and the Flames shoot it in. Here's Tinelli, number 27, back to the blue line. Held in by McInnes, and he took a weak shot that went wide of the net. Tinelli again, back in the point. She shoots it way off the mark. Tinelli centering one more time as he works hard in behind the goal. Lanny McDonald takes over now, outside of that 4-man box. McDonald back at the point. McInnes shoots, tipped in front. A rebound, but Tonelli was knocked down by Pavis. Now McInnes trying to keep the puck in. He couldn't. Doug Wickenheiser takes over with 5 seconds to go in the Bruce Bell penalty. Less than a minute to go in the first period. Jamie McCowan, number 34, moving in. Couldn't get the shot away and then just scooped it to the corner on his second try. The penalty to Bell is over. Puck comes out front of that St. Louis goal and is cleared outside of the blue line. Here's Greg Paslowski, number 28, with a long shot in on Mike Vernon. 25 seconds to go in the first period. The shots are 12-8 for Calgary, but the Blues lead 1-0. Here's Håkan Loob, number 12, carrying the puck in over the line, and Calgary goes offside on the play with 14 seconds to go in the first period. We'll remind you that coming up in this first intermission, we'll have a look at some highlights from last night, the opening of the Wales Conference Championship. Sports Center coming along. Highlights of this first period that you missed, or that you might have seen, like that one.
Boy, John Tonelli was definitely all alone in front. That was an error on the Blues' part. Luckily, they didn't have to pay for it because that man, Rick Walmsley, was right there to make the save. And one thing St. Louis doesn't give you very often, Jim, is 2 cracks at the puck when you're in front of their net. You might get the deflection, you might get the first shot on net, but you pay the price after that, and they clear you out of there. And that's one of the reasons they're unrelenting in their checking. They're tenacious. They admit they play a boring style of game, but it doesn't matter how you get there or what you look like when you're getting there. The fact that they're here is what's important.
That's how they played to get here, and we will document that fact in the first intermission as well as we look at a feature on how the Flames and the Blues got to this point. You'll see some great highlights from the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. We're in the dying seconds of the first period from the Saddle Dome. St. Louis Blues are very happy with the way things have gone here as the buzzer sounds to win the first period. They have a 1-0 lead and will be very happy with that, Bill.
Well, I think they'll be thrilled with that, and it's obvious to me, in spite of the fact that the Flames outshot them 12-8, that the Flames are sagging. They have had their first period of letdown. Now, it'll be interesting to see if they regroup. Let's face it, you saw them against Edmonton. This is not the same type of team that we saw play the Edmonton Oilers, is it?
Well, there's a long ways between the emotional high of a Game 7, no matter who you're playing, and Game 1 of the next series. So you really have to regroup, and I'm sure that's what they're going through now. It's only Game 1. Maybe the Blues think they can come in here and steal one.
Well, I'll tell you, I played on the last time the Flames went to the semifinals. I was a member of their team. It was 1980-81, and we beat the Philadelphia Flyers in the quarterfinals, and we thought we'd won the Stanley Cup. We faced Minnesota in the second round, in the semifinals. Before we knew it, we were down a game. We never recovered, and we lost because we didn't win the first game.
First up for the Blues, the North Stars. Game 3 for Durko to Greg Paslowski, who has 8 goals so far. The Blues win that game 4-3. On to Game 4. Doug Gilmour to Mark Hunter. Gilmour with 9 assists so far in the postseason. Hunter with a great series as well. The Blues win that, move on to play Toronto. Dennis Sear to Mark Reeds, and Sear puts it in front, swooping in for the goal later in that game. Greg Millen shining as he robs Russ Courtnall, and St. Louis wins Game 1 6-1. Millen has been the difference. Also, Bernie Federko. He has 14 points, feeding to Mark Hunter here in Game 4. Hunter has been outstanding as well, poaching in front, but it would go to a 5th game. Greg Millen has been outstanding, as we said, gets a little help from teammate Lee Norwood, who clears it away from in front. Later in the game, a miraculous series of saves. Millen, with a goals against average in this postseason of 2.59, has won 6 of his 8 games. Time and again, shutting the door. The reason the Blues have gotten this far. On to Game 6. We talked about Hunter's great series unassisted. He has 13 points. There's one of his goals. He has 4. And then into Game 7, when it rested on the shoulders of Greg Millen. Incredible reflex save. St. Louis wins the game 2-1, and they win the series in 7. They win it in 7. The difference certainly defensively was immediate playoff impact coming over from St. Louis to Calgary. He has 11 playoff points. He scored in Game 1 against the Jets. Then again in Game 2. Here in the slot, Calgary swept the Jets in 3 games. On to the Oilers. The Rise route to Lanny McDonald line. Tremendous against Edmonton. Lanny McDonald has 5 playoff goals. Here he is in Game 1 against the Oilers. Then late in Game 2, Mullen will snag the puck from midair, knock it down, and put it in from the doorstep. But Calgary would lose that game in overtime. But they've gotten great, outstanding goaltending from rookie Mike Vernon. Well under 3 goals a game. Jim Peplinski scoring in Game 5 against the Oilers. He has 3 goals and 5 assists. Sometimes luck is better than skill. This is the winner As Steve Smith tried to get it out of his own end, it ticks off the skate of Grant Fuhr. That's the free goal that's put Calgary into the round of 4. And you might have recalled during...
He didn't want to get involved in a shootout, but Jim, nobody wants to get involved in a shootout in the playoffs, but these two teams especially, and the Rangers in Montreal, when he get a chance, whoa! Well, Rick Wamsley just about repaid the favor of Mike Vernon's weak goal early in the game.
A bouncing puck, and Wamsley nonchalantly one-hopped it, and it almost squirted right by him. Wamsley may have been a surprise starter to some since Millen played so well in the series against Toronto, but Wamsley has a history of playing well against Calgary.
He sure does. And you know, you and I sat in the press room before this game started and talked about what an ideal spot it was to put him in. When you go a long way in the playoffs without getting your number 2 guy in there, it becomes increasingly difficult to come up and put him in there. You have to live and die with your number 1 guy unless you've established your number 2 guy.
Here come the Blues. Rick Mahar with a shot kicked out by Mike Vernon. He's the other goalie in this game. Denny Morrell is the referee. Colin Patterson with a pass to Jim Poplinski, number 24. He dumps the puck in for Calgary. After it in the corner is Tim Hunter. Number 19, the rugged Hunter can't keep the puck in, and the Blues move it back to center. They're playing with Mahar, Reeds, and Cavallini, a checking line, and now Jacques Demers, the coach of the Blues, is making changes on the fly. Doug Gilmour, number 9, makes a nice move around Poplinski, but nowhere to go. He's sandwiched in the end boards, and the puck squirts loose to Paul Reinhart. Gets it through to Bozek behind him, and it's cleared to center by the Blues. Early in the second period, 1-0 St. Louis leading. Here's Steve Bozek from the Northern Michigan Wildcats, number 26, moves to center, dumps the puck in. That's what the Flames want to do against the Blues, dump it in with a winger on the fly. Bozek after the puck, got by him, Riesdraw keeps it in the corner, Hoken Lube goes after it, Lube has the puck, can't center it, he was hit very quickly, and the puck is cleared the length of the ice by the Blues. There'll be an icing call as Jamie McCowan is back to touch the puck. The Flames and the Blues have only had 48 hours to prepare for this series. Bill, I think that Bob Johnson would like more time than that.
Oh, absolutely no question, Jim. I talked to him this morning, and he was lamenting the fact that he didn't have a longer stretch between series like he did before Edmonton. Before Edmonton, they had a day off to savor their victory against Winnipeg. Then they had 4 great practices. And you know what he said to me? He said, I don't coach during a game. My coaching comes during practice. And without the practices, let's face it, yesterday was kind of a, listen, guys, let's just get together and work on a few things. But after the kind of victory like that, you can't work your players very hard. So he would have much rather had a couple of days.
Blues get possession off the face-off and try and move it out of their own zone. Again, they do to center, just content to dump it out along the board. They have Gilmour, Pazlowski, and Fedorko out on this line. Fedorko's a center normally, playing the left wing, and has been for some of the playoffs. Perry Berezan in after the puck for Calgary. John Tonelli is number 27. He tried to get it in front and now goes in after the puck, and the Blues again move it out of the board. Pazlowski to Gilmour, number 9. Over to Fedorko, back to Gilmour. No room to shoot, then he's taken to the boards by Lanny McDonald. Pazlowski, number 28. Into Fedorko, where he likes to work in behind the net, but he's knocked down this time before he can move the puck out front. Flames trying to come out of their own zone and do. Here's John Tonelli, moves over the line, fakes the shot, spins on the boards, has an open man, across the puck goes to Baxter. Oops! Here's one slipped by him. He hasn't played in a few games, and it looked like it in that play as the puck bounced by him and got outside the line. Now a 2-line offside pass charged against the Blues.
Gosh, this is a completely different Calgary Flames team that we've been watching. Perry Berezan on that last shift simply swung by a guy instead of doing what Bob Johnson told me this morning his players had done the entire Edmonton game, and he was so proud of them because not only in the first period, but in the second and third, they were following through, and that means when a player passes the puck, you still make contact with him. You still ride him out of the play. It's one thing to hit a player when he's carrying the puck. That's easy because everybody is pumped up to do that. You really have to concentrate and take a lot of retaliation when you ride a player out of the play after he's passed the puck. Well, now the Flames aren't only not doing that, but they're not even taking the checks that have the puck. Berezan simply swept by somebody at the blue line, and that's wonderful for St. Louis. I'm sure the Blues are giggling right now. Well, perhaps not. Might have been a little.
Literally,
might have
figuratively, maybe. Almost 3 minutes gone in the second period. The Blues lead 1-0 in Mark Reed's first period goal. and play a tight checking game here. Here's a chance for Mullen with a shot. Blocked by Rick Walmsley. Another shot by Patillo. A weak one that was easily stopped by the goaltender. Patillo in behind the goal. Fighting against Doug Wickenheiser for the puck. The Blues that come up with it. Moving to center is Kevin LaValle, another former Flame. In over the blue line, he's checked by Terry Johnson, who poke-checked him and sent the puck to center. Mullen lost the puck to Doug Wickenheiser. His pass to Mark Hunter. Hunter, the leading goal scorer on the Blues in the regular season with 44, just dumped the puck in. LaValle keeping it in against Neil Sheehy. Sheehy, number 5, starts out to center. Lost the puck as the Blues bottle up the middle of the ice. Now here's Pazlowski, number 28, dumping the puck in for St. Louis. Neil Sheehy is back deep in his own zone. Up along the boards, it goes the length of the ice. Icing is waved off as Bruce Bell is back to pick it up. Former Quebec Nordique, cut off by Patterson, and the play is offside as Calgary moved in. We've played 3 minutes and 42 seconds of the second period. Calgary's outshot St. Louis 15-9, but the lead is the Blues 1-0. Here's Joe Mullen's chance.
Well, Nick Patillo was backing him up on the play, Jim, and got pretty good wood on it. Bob Johnson's got the 2 New York boys on the same line, Joey Mullen and Nick Patillo. See if that childhood blood will run deep and thick enough to make them an impressive unit in this playoff.
The Flames moving in after the puck, trying to get the equalizer. Here's Paul Reinhart. Dumps it off the side of the net. Gilmore is back to get the puck as Charlie Bourgeois is busy tackling Jim Poplinski behind the goal, and they get their sticks and arms up in the air.
Well, Jim, you know, when the players were introduced, and they were all introduced individually under the spotlight before the game, Charles Bourgeois was given a big round of applause, but I guarantee you that he won't be getting many more.
Here score. St. Louis Blues won the Cowboys. Right off the faceoff, deep in the St. Louis zone. The Flames get possession. Hoken Lube trying to get the puck to Doug Risebrough behind the net and does. Risebrough trying to center. Taken away by the Blues. Here's Mark Reed shooting the puck to center. Neil Sheehy takes over. Sheehy off the boards to Hoken Lube, number 12 of the Flames. Blues leading 1-0 here as Steve Bozek moves in. Couldn't get a shot away as he was checked. Stood up by Rob Ramage. Haven't seen Brian Sutter of the Blues here in the second period. There's a shot by Beers. Put it off the post. Or did Vernon get a shoulder on that? Now here's Hoken Lube, number 12, coming back. Cuts into the middle, and the play is called as Terry Johnson of Calgary, and Rick Mahar got tangled up behind the play, and Mahar looks hurt. The score, the St. Louis Blues 1, the Calgary Flames 0.
There's a look at Terry Johnson off for holding here in the second period. St. Louis Blues would like nothing better than to open up a bigger margin. They lead 1-0. Flames out shooting them 15-10.
This is the Blues' second opportunity on a power play. They're 0 for 1 here tonight and have a 1-0 lead as Rick Natras dumps the puck in. Gilmore, Hunter, and Federico are the forwards on the power play unit. Federico has the puck to Doug Gilmore. He couldn't get it as he was poke-checked behind the net. The puck was poked away by Jamie McCowan. Hunter comes up with the puck, trying to go for the front of the net. Gilmore with a shot. That was deflected away at the side of the goal. In behind the net, Federico chasing the loose puck to the point. Here's Lee Norwood, number 23. Lost it, and a breakaway now. Holding up is Steve Bozek. Now a chance for Al McInnes, and he couldn't get it around Rick Walmsley. Bozek was in alone, decided he was going to be caught, and just held up.
Jim, he was on his off wing, too. Had he been able to protect the puck with his body, had he been a right-hand shot, he would have had a split second longer. And it's one of those decisions that you have to make in the middle of battle. This whole game revolves around thousands and thousands of decisions, one after the other.
53 seconds left in the penalty. Not sure which team's on the power play by watching the ice surface right now, as Calgary seems to be controlling the play. Now here's Pazlowski leaving the puck for Ramage, and the Blues will move up. In over the line, Wickenheiser trailing. Pazlowski going for the puck behind the net. Federico after a loose puck in the corner. Bernie Federico to the line, and Bruce Bell will just keep it into the corner for Wickenheiser. Wickenheiser back to the point for Bell, who is going the wrong direction, and the puck comes outside the line. 20 seconds left in the penalty to Terry Johnson of the Calgary Flames. 1-0 St. Louis leading, 13:30 to play in the second period. Wickenheiser dumps the puck in around the boards. Pazlowski leaves it for Ramage at the point. He just dumps it in on the end boards. The Blues aren't getting shots, but they're keeping it in the Calgary zone. Flames get it out to center. Ramage broke up what could have been a 2-on-1 if Lube had got to that puck. Here's a chance for Wickenheiser. The play is offside just as Terry Johnson comes out of the penalty box.
Jim, I'm wondering if you're surprised that the power plays have been as ineffective so far in this game. You're probably not, given the fact that you're aware of the statistics during the regular season.
Absolutely right. This is not a surprise at all when you consider that in 3 games in the regular season, neither of these teams scored a power play goal against each other. St. Louis went 0 for 13, Calgary 0 for 11. Short-handed opportunity there for Steve Bozak.
Yeah, that was Bozak's decision, and that time it was a poor decision. It wasn't a poor decision not to shoot, but what he did is he just stopped and remained motionless, and that enabled the St. Louis player just to bowl him over, and Al McInnes was following up, which made it kind of a threatening play. But in general, when you stop and don't move, you're a sitting duck, and that's what happened to Steve Bozak there. He just got cleaned right out of the play.
Teams are back at full and equal strength with the Blues leading 1-0. Here's Al McInnes. Dumping the puck around to the boards for Perry Berezan, number 21. John Tonelli, number 27 now, takes over for Calgary. Moving up to the line. All the Blues are back. Nobody. The play is offside.
4 St. Louis Blues lined up across the blue line, and yet the Flames are still reluctant to dump it in. I have to wonder, as you know, we're sitting up here with 4 different broadcast crews as well. The Canadian television is doing it, St. Louis television is doing it. In between periods, we all get together and kind of compare notes, and we all agree. Calgary is playing right into their hands.
One to nothing, the Blues lead in the first period goal by Mark Reeves. The power plays have been ineffective here tonight. Why do you think that is? Do you think there's a reason why either of these teams would be able to score? Is it just great checking?
Both teams have pretty good penalty killing, Jim, but I'll tell you one thing that the Flames are going to miss is Gary Suter, which brings us back to the injury situation that we'll get to when we get a chance.
Mike Vernon clears the puck from his goal mouth against the boards. The Flames trying to move it out. They can't do it. Here's Doug Wickenheiser, number 14 for the Blues. Gets it to the corner. Joel Otto to Neil Sheehy, and the Flames come out around the board. Jim Poplinski, number 24, trying to split the defense. He's upset by Rick Natras, number 27, and the puck comes outside the blue line. Poplinski again. Again, he's hit by Rick Natras, and the puck this time comes outside the line, but is brought back in offside by the Calgary Flames.
Now we'll get to the injuries. No, we won't get to the injuries. We'll get to something else here in Calgary. It's still St. Louis leading 1-0.
Jim Houston with Bill Clement back at the Saddle Dome in Calgary, where the Blues lead the Flames 1-0 in this first game of the Campbell Conference Championship. Paul Baxter is number 4 for Calgary, dumping the puck in deep. Rick Walmsley out of his net to clear the puck to the board. Flames keep it in, though, and keep possession from the point. McCowan's shot gets into the slot. Drysdale with a backhander. Doesn't get through. It's blocked in front. Here comes Eddie Beers carrying the puck for St. Louis. Can't get around Jamie McCowan. They go to the corner after the loose puck. Doug Rysbrough is back, coming up with it. Over to Lanny McDonald, number 9. John Tonelli is the 3rd member of this Calgary forward line. A veteran unit is McCowan. Moves the puck over the line, and it's shot to center. Shot back in by McDonald, and the play is offside.
I can guarantee you, Jim, that those guys you just referred to as the veteran unit are real happy right now. We could call them the old unit. Veteran is a euphemism for old in this game, and there's one of the guys that really makes this whole Calgary Flames hockey team tick, Lanny McDonald, and I had a chance to play with him. And you know, over a period of 12 years, there are only a handful of players that I can look back and say, it was a real privilege to have had the opportunity to play with you, and Lanny McDonald is one of those people. He's a real credit to every organization, including the human rights. We talked about injuries. Kerry Wilson and Gary Suter, the 2 most noticeable for Calgary. Wilson had a ruptured spleen as a result of a alleged spear from Smith from Edmonton, and his spleen was removed in emergency surgery, and Gary Suter had arthroscopic surgery on his knee. Both of those players will be lost to the Flames, so in that sense, St. Louis has a little edge injury-wise, I would think.
Berezan was trying to wrap it around, and it was kicked out by Rick Walmsley. Now from the point, Al McInnes keeps the puck in for Hogan Lube. Centering puck. Oh.
You can see Colin Patterson in the middle of your screen. Now he's to the right. He will stay in front of the net, number 11. Hockenloob does the work behind the net. Nobody takes number 11. He is all alone. Doug Gilmour, number 9, moves to him too late. Rick Wansley looked around, and you can see Rick Wansley, the goalie, looking behind him. As soon as he turns around, Colin Patterson just lets it go. The St. Louis Blues will not make many errors like that in a hockey game, Jim Houston. They did right there. 2 guys on either side of a man, neither of whom was taking them, and it cost them.
As a result, it's 1-1. Lube and McInnes assist on the goal at 8:59, and here come the Blues. Natras keeping the puck in. Baxter will get a chance to move it out. Patterson's second goal of the playoffs. Puck is dumped in by Joey Mullen. On the fly is Poplinski as the Flames pick up the pace here in the second period. Tie this game 1-1. Joey Mullen on the end boards to Jim Poplinski, trying to center it. Comes into the slot, and the Blues will take it away. Moving out to center. LaValle dumps the puck in, and Vernon just stops it there and leaves it for Baxter. Baxter on the boards for Joe Mullen. Up the middle to Poplinski. Leaves it out there for Joel Otto. Otto is number 29. Gets around one man and shoots. Wansley to save, and he holds on.
What a brilliant move for a big man the size of Joel Otto. Now this guy in the middle of your screen is 6'4", 220 pounds. Is he ever quick? Here at the Saddle Dome, it's St. Louis 1 and Calgary 1. Well, when we left, we were talking about the move by this big man. Watch him hesitate to the right as if he's cutting to his right. You can't appreciate the brilliance of that until you understand the guy's 6'4" and weighs 220 pounds. He got around him and got great wood on his shot, too, Jim.
You also have to appreciate Bill. The man he went around is Bernie Federico, who's not a defenseman, who was covering up for a defenseman. That may be part of the reason he got around him.
He might never try that move again in the National Hockey League. Is that what you're saying?
Bernie may never be back there again.
Well, I'm going to have to get the word to Joel Otto to try that in a real defenseman.
Yeah.
Just so I can build up the Bemidji State.
Yeah. Denny Morrell is calling penalties here. A slashing call is his indication, and Nick Fatiu of the Calgary Flames is going to the penalty box. So the St. Louis Blues are going to get a chance to go back to the power play for the second time tonight. Nicky from New York sits it out for 2 minutes. And again, we get back to these power plays that haven't worked. In the regular season, against St. Louis went 0 for 13 against Calgary. Calgary 0 for 11 against St. Louis, and both teams are 0 for tonight.
Well, I got a feeling in a 7-game series that goose egg will be broken, almost certainly. And, you know, we've said it so many times, Jim, we can say it again. You can throw those regular season statistics out the window, but in this case, both of these teams play rather conservatively, so I think that power plays will be struggling through the series, but you know before the series is over that there are going to be some big goals scored when a team is down 1 man. Or 2 men.
I think you're right. Let's see how the St. Louis Blues do here with Calgary shorthanded. Fatiu off for slashing, a 1-1 tie midway through the second period. Over the NHL on ESPN, I'm Jim Houston with Bill Clement. As the Blues move in, Hunter gave the puck away, and the Flames move it out to center. Lube didn't want to touch that puck. It would have been over 2 lines offside. He wisely let it go, killed some time, and lets the Blues move out. Federico is center. Lost the puck. Here's Natras, number 27. Rink wide now for Gilmour into the middle. Here's Federico with a drop pass to Natras on the other side. Norwood shoots. Vernon made the save and cleared his own rebound. And Steve Bozak hacks the puck down the ice. 55 seconds left in the penalty to Calgary's Nick Fatiu. 1-1 tie. Here's Doug Gilmour, number 9, moving through center. On the right side, Paslowski had it knocked away from him by Jamie McCowan, who shoots the puck down the ice. Now here's Bruce Bell, number 10, back to collect it. He was on the all-rookie team last year with the Quebec Nordiques. Bell starting out of his own zone. Ahead to Rob Ramage. Ramage dumps the puck in. The Blues on the fly after it. Luke got there first. Couldn't get the puck. Brian Sutter out on the power play. His first shift of this period. Sutter, number 11. Trying to center it against Jamie McCowan. After the puck is Doug Wickenheiser with Sutter. Flames come up with it, and Ryan Krause shoots the puck down the ice. 10 seconds to go in the penalty. 8 minutes to go, second period. 1-1 tie. Sutter after the puck. Terry Johnson has it. Clears it to center. Fatiu's out of the penalty box. Flames are back at full strength. The Blues are 0 for 3 in the power play tonight. Bozak to Patterson, and that play was clearly offside, so the play is halted. The score, St. Louis 1 and the Calgary Flames 1. action coming your way on ESPN. Don't forget tomorrow night, Game 2 in the Wales Conference Final. New York and Montreal, 8 o'clock Eastern. Talk about checking, Bill. Game number 1 last night.
Well, you know, all of the teams that are left play similar styles, Jim. Very tight, very close checking. And interesting to note that Montreal was the 7th place team overall during the regular season. New York was 14th. And in this game tonight, we have the 6th place team overall against 12. So we get 6, 7, 12, and 14.
Here's Mahar with a shot on Mike Vernon. He blocked it. After the puck is Herb Ragland, the 18-year-old rookie, out on the ice, knocked down behind the net, and the Flames come up with a puck. 1-1 tie here in Calgary as Doug Risebrough moves in. Drop pass for McDonald. His shot knocked away by Walmsley, and he didn't know where it went. Luckily, his players picked up on it for him. Puck is dumped to center. Al McInnes is back for it, number 2 for the Calgary Flames. The Blues changing on the fly. Risebrough up the middle over 2 lines, right by Lanny McDonald, the length of the ice. Back to touch it. And pick it up is Rick Natras, number 27. Natras holds on, looking for somebody to pass to, somebody on the move. Reed circles back. Now Natras goes up the middle for Wickenheiser, and he tips the puck to center. 6:50 to play in the second period. Score is 1-1. Here's Jamie McCowan, number 34. Just got rid of the puck in time. Natras had him lined up and was really coming after him, but McCowan saw the hit coming. Now here comes Wickenheiser, number 14, trying to go around Baxter. Baxter straight to the man. Picking up the puck is Joe Mullen. Mullen to Joel Otto. He left it behind, and the Blues come back the other way. Big collision behind the play as Reeds and Poplinski went down in a heap on the ice. Shots on goal are 19-13 for the Flames in this 1-1 tie. Baxter is number 4 for the Flames. Dumps the puck to center. To Jim Poplinski. Joel Otto goes to the front of the net. Centering pass didn't get there. After it is Lee Norwood, Poplinski centered it against him, and it's picked up by Gino Cavallini from Bowling Green State University. Passed it to a man who was going to the bench on a line change, and Berezan comes back. Barry Berezan can't handle the puck. Knocked away from the slot by Lee Norwood, and the Blues journeyman defenseman sends the puck down the ice. Here's Terry Johnson. Getting the puck to the neutral zone. Blues puck there as Lee Norwood just pokes it towards center, and it's shot in by Hoken Lou. 5.5 minutes to play in the second period. Blues 1, Flames 1. Patterson and Reeds have exchanged goals. Reeds for St. Louis was the first one. Here's Rob Ramage. Turns to get away from his man Berezan. Fell down but recovered. To LaValle. Tipped ahead to Federico. Trying to get it outside the line. Now he does on a second effort. Lube will bring it back in. Lube is spun around. Mark Hunter skated by him and took the puck. Hunter trying to move away from Sheehy. Dropped the puck for LaValle. To a crowd, he shoots. A nice save by Mike Vernon. Just got that glove hand up in time. Here's Colin Patterson. Now to Hoken Lou. Lou waiting for mates to get on the ice on a line change. Tried to pass it through to Tonelli. He was knocked down, and the Blues come back as the pass was intercepted. Here's Federico. Trying to set up Bruce Bill. Now the LaValle. His shot is blocked by Mike Vernon. Got that up high on the blocker. Back comes Doug Risebrough. Trying to go around Bourgeois. His backhand shot. Walmsley came out to cut down the angle and made the save. Bourgeois wrestles Risebrough to the ice. And the fans are calling for a penalty, and I think they're going to get one. Denny Morrell has finally whistled this play down. There'll be penalties handed out with the score. St. Louis 1, Calgary 1.
Well, we mentioned earlier that Charles Bourgeois, the big St. Louis defenseman, was cheered during the introductions, Jim, when he came out under the spotlight, and I venture to guess that before this series was over that he would be booed. Well, he's in the penalty box now for roughing up Doug Risebrough, and he got his first taste of these fans turning against him. Boy, I'll tell you, you change uniforms, and you get that one introduction under the spotlight. Now, he comes down with his arm around Risebrough's neck, but he keeps holding it down there. Watch Charles Bourgeois' left arm. He keeps it right around Risebrough. Now he'll go over again. They keep flipping each other over. That's when the penalty was called. He really never did let him go. He should have. Had he let him go at one point, it would have just been a simple entanglement, but it wasn't.
Morrell calls him for roughing. So Calgary goes to the power play here. The Flames are 0 for 3 with a man advantage here tonight. 1-1 tie. Reinhardt up front with Joey Mullen and Hoken Lube in the power play. Coming through is Joel Otto as well. Lube trying to send it into the middle. Cut off there by Greg Paslowski. And number 28 for the Blues goes for a skate to center. and then dumps it in, killing some time in the penalty. They've killed 30 seconds. Out of their own zone come the Flames. Joel Otto into the middle to Paul Reinhart. Reinhart, number 23, holds up, trying to set up, back to the point. McKinnon didn't have room to shoot, almost gave it away. Lube tried to send it over to Reinhart and couldn't. McKinnon with a crowd in front of the net. Over to Lube. Big Otto is screening in front. McKinnon to Reinhart. Now he shoots, tips it wide. Lube with a shot, he scores!
Well, when your power play looks as bad as the Flames has looked and you can get a goal like this, you'll go ahead and take it. Hakan Lube had a real sharp angle, actually a low percentage, but he knew there was enough traffic in front. He is only 3 feet from the goal line. Rick Wamsley actually makes the save and deflects it up into the net, Jim. I think the shot was going wide.
Lube will get his 4th goal of the playoffs at 16:36. Reinhart and McInnes will draw assists to make it 2-1 Calgary. So the Flames come back from a 1-0 deficit and have their first lead of this game. There's an offside call, and that'll give us time to tell you about our second intermission. Stay tuned for a look at highlights of this second period. We'll return you to Sports Center and a feature on Barclay Flager, the assistant coach of the St. Louis Blues, and a very special feature, Bill, because Bark has been battling a great personal tragedy with 2 inoperable tumors, and he's a great guy, and it's a wonderful feature.
I know you've seen the feature. I haven't had a chance to, and I'm looking forward to it. For those people who followed Barclay Flager through his career, you know what kind of stuff he was made of as a man when he played, and he's showing that same kind of fight and spirit in his fight right now.
He's a tough cookie.
Yep.
And the players on this team love and respect him very much. He's been a great inspiration to them. 3:02 to play in period number 2. A 2-1 lead for Calgary. Back to pick it up in his own zone is John Tonelli. Tonelli, number 27, ahead to Lanny McDonald. There's going to be a penalty called here. Looks like it's against the St. Louis Blues.
I don't know, Jim. John Tonelli is doing all the
Tonelli's
arguing.
going. You're right.
He did a little double take, and that'll get him off the ice. You know, there have been a couple of invisible penalties to us tonight. One was on Bruce Bell in the first period. That's an indication that Denny Morel is calling it pretty closely. And we all got together between periods, most of us in our broadcast area, and we were all asking each other, did anybody see the penalty to Bruce Bell in the first period? And to a man, everyone said, no, he didn't. And I'll tell you, whoever started that question being asked had a lot of guts to ask, because we all like to sit here and say, well, we saw this, we saw that. There was Tonelli. He just grabbed, that was it, over on the right side of the boards. He just grabbed Tonelli. Yeah, he just more or less threw him out of the way. And, boy, that is kind of a tight rein on the game for the amount of sparks that we thought would happen. You know, usually when there was a combustible situation, you play it tight. Nobody thought it was going to be a real rough series.
Here's Bozek moving right in front, and Walmsley stopped him. Bozek's had a couple of chances here tonight. Keep in mind, this is the Blues power play. Bozek hauled down behind the play. Fans here want a penalty, but they won't get the call from Denny Morel. It was an offside call at the St. Louis line in a game that fans give the gears to the referee.
Boy, Bozek really weaved his way through that defender and tried an excellent move on Rick Wamsley. When the guy gets in that close, you can tell he's a scorer when he actually tries to move the puck to one side so that the goalie has to spread his legs and then come back through the middle. That's what Bozek did. He just ran out of real estate. He didn't have enough room to execute. Good shot of the crowd there and all the red. It's really a spectacle to see as we're sitting here. It's a shame that we couldn't set up a camera so that you can see the whole spectrum of the interior of this Saddle Dome and the amount of red. And Bob Johnson said today he's getting telegrams from all over the United States from people who say they're sitting watching the games. The Calgary Flames have now been adopted by a lot of people as their darling team in the playoffs since they beat Edmonton, and he'd be amazed at the number of telegrams he's getting from people that admit that they're sitting watching this game wearing red from Oshkosh to Albuquerque.
A minute and 10 seconds left in John Tonelli's penalty. 2-1 lead for the Calgary Flames, and here come the Blues in the power play. McCowan upset his man, Ryan Sutter. Sutter's quick to get up, get after the puck again. Federko and Sutter work on the board. Natras the shot, kicked away to the corner. And Hakan Lube now dumps the puck the length of the ice. Stopped there by Rick Wamsley. Here's Rick Netras, number 27. Sutter mixing it up with Rysbrough at center. Sutter gave Rysbrough a pretty good shot with the butt end of his stick.
He sure did, and it was at that point that Denny Morrell called the play, Jim, but before that, Sutter was challenging Rysbrough, and Rysbrough was cross-checking him in the back, trying to get him away, but Sutter kept turning around. Now, Doug Rysbrough doesn't get into that many fights, and Brian Sutter, watch, here they go here now. Sutter's threatening him, Rysbrough pushes him. Sutter will threaten him again, Rysbrough will push him back, there. Now Sutter will come up with the right end butt of his stick right now. And what we don't see is that he followed through with it to the left side of Doug Rysbrough's neck, but safe to say that they both deserved it. Morrell could have actually whistled it down a little earlier, and I would guess that if Brian Sutter was 100% healthy right now, you would have seen a different Brian Sutter there. He wouldn't have bothered doing the verbal treatment on Doug Rysbrough. It would have been the fist treatment.
I think that's Sutter's second shift of the period. Both have been on the power play. The Blues continue on the power play as Ramage took a shot way wide of the net. A rebound pass. Lofty couldn't put it in. Another shot, and the puck is loose in front. And a defender is lying down on top of it. Jamie McCowan smothered the puck.
Boy, they had the lookout defense going there. I mean, there were 3 St. Louis Blues swarming around, and the Flames didn't have enough help, so it was look out Mike Vernon. Rob Ramage fires this from the point wide. He fires it about 8 feet wide. I make it 15 feet wide, but it bounces off and comes right out front. Now McInnes makes the first save, but look at them. As soon as Jamie McCowan left his feet, if any of the players can grab that away from him, you're really out of the play when you leave your feet, so you really have to make a quick, proper decision, especially when you're in front of the net and outnumbered. McInnes makes the first save. Now that's when McCowan decided to go down. He gets up again, goes down again. Boy, when everybody ends up lying down, you just want to hope that puck squeezes out to you one time so you can just dump it up into the net.
There's a shot tipped by Mark Hunter in front. Vernon made the save again. With now 1 minute and 11 seconds to play in the second period. 20 seconds to go in the Tonelli minor penalty. And here's the shot.
Ramage gets this one perfectly. Interesting that the Flames defenseman, now you see him moving Hunter out of the way, but the Flames defenseman just left him standing there. Now you can't do that. It's one thing to move out of the way so that you don't screen the goalie yourself, but you can't leave a defender with his stick open and everything open to just deflect the puck. Ramage made the smart shot. He just directed it at the net. He didn't try and score, and as a result, Hunter came this close to deflecting it by Mike Vernon.
Jacques Demers, one of the most likable coaches in the league, watches his Blues on the power play.
One of the most enthusiastic coaches, too. That's one thing that these two coaches have in common, Jim, is enthusiasm, isn't it?
You bet. A player's coach is Jacques Demers as Ramage shoots and Vernon makes another save, and it's a repeat performance.
God, Ramage's arms must be getting tired by now, Jim. He's had 3 shots from back there, and Bernie Federko is really doing a job on the faceoffs against Steve Bozak, and that's the whole reason that Ramage is getting all of his shots.
Ramage is going for a new stick. First thing you do when you don't score on one of those shots, get a new one.
Yeah, blame the stick.
Mike Vernon has been sharp.
Rob Ramage, he is playing hurt, and that's it's noteworthy in the sense that he usually plays a far more robust style. He has a fuse that if it snaps, he is a terror on the ice. And here's another face-off won by the Blues.
Federko has the puck, number 24. Hunter in front of the net. Ramage poised at the point. McInnes took the puck away from Federko, clears it not out. The penalty's almost over. Bozak steals. Here's a 2-on-1. Bozak and Otto. Bozak shoots. Nice save by Rick Walmsley. The penalty to Tonelli is over. The Flames are back at full strength. 2-1 they lead. 40 seconds left in the second period. A scramble for the puck. Tonelli comes up with it. Has a man in front. He can't center it. And there'll be a St. Louis penalty to Rob Ramage, who tackled John Tonelli.
He sure did, Jim, and his injury is his hip, and we mentioned that he is not playing at 100%. He's usually far more physical. Needless to say, he's still able to hog-tie John Tonelli, and that in itself, the fact that he got a penalty, may be one of the symptoms of a very, very sore hip, a little bit of back problems as well. He's a very strong player, but when you have to start clutching and grabbing, as we saw Rob Ramage just do, you have to wonder if that's not a symptom of probably the fact that that he's hurting in so many places. He has to rely on other means to bring a player down.
Ramage goes for holding. The Flames go on the power play with 34 seconds left in this period. Jamie McCowan takes the shot. Didn't get through. It was blocked by Mahar. Now McCowan to the end boards to Mullet. Over to Otto, number 29. Moves around in front on the give and go. He gives it to Otto. Back to the point now, McCowan. Sends it in, intended for Otto to tip. Went right through to the goalie who just kicked it out, and the Blues clear it to center with 12 seconds left in the period.
Jim, you know what happened that time to Joel Otto trying to deflect it? It came too directly at him. To direct the puck, the one shot you don't want to get, first of all, is out of reach. The second one is directly at your stick because you really don't have a chance to deflect it.
So the period ends as the buzzer sounds with the score. The Calgary Flames 2 and the St. Louis.
Sweet revenge for Petit Pierre, playing for the Rangers against Montreal in Montreal, number 3 so far. And Thomas for Toronto with, of course, Maple Leafs out in 4th position with 14 points. Bernie Federico of St. Louis with 14. Kozlowski, his teammate, hot on his trail. Kevin Dineen of Hartford. By the way, they had a celebratory parade today in Hartford, Connecticut for the Whalers. And Anderson as well as Hartford, 13 points. What a year it was for him.
Short-handed with Rob Ramage still serving a holding penalty. Shots on goal are 24-19 favoring Calgary. And this third period is underway. The Flames on the night are 1 for 4 with a man advantage. They have a power play goal earlier from Hoken Lou. Here they come with Joel Otto leading the way. He shoots. Walmsley made the save. There was some room on the far side, but he got his right pad on that one.
Boy, you're right, Jim. There was some room, and Walmsley was drifting to his left, but he kept the low side protected by dragging that right leg, and that's exactly where he had to make the save on Otto.
Here's Otto again with Joe Mullen across the line. Otto's in front, takes the shot. Walmsley to save. Loose puck poked away from McKinnon. Now McCowan with a drive. Tipped wide and deflected off a leg in front. Here's Paul Reinhart, number 23, as the Flames start on fire. McCowan with a shot, whistled it wide. McInnes keeps the puck in for the inboards. Around to Jamie McCowan, number 34. Joe Mullen now. Back to McCowan. On the other side for McInnes, his shot. That deflected off the stick of Reeds over the net. 20 seconds left in the penalty to Ramage. Flames on the power play leading 2-1. Otto to Reinhart. Great save by Walmsley. And he got some help as Reinhart shot it right at him.
Boy, he sure did. That was partly in the right place at the right time and partly great instinct. Paul Reinhart one-timed it, which is a nice play. Now, remember in the first period when Hoken Lou was over on that side of the net, Jim, and he had to spin around and make the play, or at least make the shot after he spun around. On this particular play, Paul Reinhart is on his left hand, so what he can do is shoot it and one-time it. Perfect pass right through him. That's how fast Paul Reinhart got the shot away because he was a left-hand shot standing there, but Romsley wasn't even halfway back through the net. Look at it. If Reinhart had hit the right side of the net, he had a sure goal, but it's one of those things that's difficult to execute. Keep in mind that pass is coming at him pretty fast, too.
It really is a hard thing to do to one-time a puck, no matter how hard it's done.
Yeah,
Timing is so important.
Definitely, and when you can master the art, you know, it goes right down to the aspect of how stiff a shaft of the stick you use. Some guys use very stiff shafts, other guys don't. If you have a whippy stick, you can't do that.
Here's McInnes faking a shot, slips the puck into the middle. Loose in front of the net. The Blues desperately trying to clear. Now they get it over to the corner, and Jim Pavese hacks it down the ice. Nope, doesn't get by. McInnes was able to keep it in. Right in front. Here's Reinhart with a shot. Walmsley makes the save and holds on as Ramage is out of the penalty box. The Blues are back at full strength.
Oh, Walmsley really showed his mettle there, Jim. He stepped right out of his net to face Paul Reinhart, and Reinhart, not seeing anything down low, went high on him. Reinhart is still on top right of your screen. Now Walmsley moves out. He's 3 or 4 feet outside of his crease when he makes the save, and that's one of the keys right there, is moving out and cut that angle. But you have to have faith in your defenseman to do that. You never know if there's going to be a Flame standing to the side of you or behind you. And when a guy like Paul Reinhart has the puck, you're really taking a chance when you move out because he's one of the great ones back there, and he can lift his head up very quickly, change his mind to the last minute, and pass instead of shoot.
Flames still had 4 shots on that power play, a couple of them quality chances to score. 2-1, the Flames lead. The team's at full and even strength now as the Blues chase the puck into the Calgary zone. Jamie McCowan is back. McCowan out of Ohio State dumps the puck down to the Blues line. Kozlowski and Gilmore go after the loose puck. Lanny McDonald in there as well. Gilmore stick handles away from McCowan. His pass to Brian Sutter. Couldn't handle it. Norwood moves up and dumps the puck in behind the Calgary goal. Mike Vernon clears the puck for Doug Risebrough. Coming out with John Tonelli and Lanny McDonald. Pass to McDonald was off the boards, and the Blues move it to center once again, just content to shoot the puck out of their own zone every time it comes in there. Barry Berezan cleared the puck to center for Calgary. Nice move by McDonald to get away from Hunter. McDonald holding the puck on the boards. He's double teamed as the puck came into the slot. Bouncing there and picked up by Doug Gilmour. Sends it ahead to Bruce Bell, number 10. Bell in on the right side, drops it to Gilmour. Hunter going for the net, the pass. Hunter tried to dig it out of his skates and couldn't get a shot away. 17:30 to play, third period, 2-1 Calgary. Here comes Hoken Lube with Berezan. Berezan shuffles the puck out in front. Knocked away as Patterson was charging after it, but there were 3 Blues there as the puck is held on the end board. With the score, the Flames 2 and the Blues 1. With Bill Clement back at the Saddle Dome in Calgary, Bob Johnson watches his team. They're ahead 2-1. We'll remind you there's more action tomorrow night on ESPN. Rangers in Montreal in Game 2 of the Wales Conference Final from Montreal at 8 Eastern. Montreal won the first game 2-1. We'll be back here at 8 Eastern on Sunday night. For Calgary and St. Louis. Lots of playoff action coming your way on ESPN. Here's Jim Pavis, number 35, coming out of his own zone for St. Louis to center to Bernie Federico. Shot to center now by Terry Johnson. Joel Otto holding on to the puck, gets it ahead for Jim Poplinski, number 24 of the Flames. Poplinski on the boards against Mark Hunter. They dance around and the puck stays in their skates. Then Hunter is able to clear it to center. And the speedy Joey Mullen, former St. Louis Blue, who felt very sad about leaving St. Louis in that big trade, carried the puck to center and was turned around and knocked down. Neil Sheehy goes back after the puck, and more bodies go to the ice. Ramage with a shot, deflected by Vernon off the glass. Now here's Lee Norwood, number 23, keeping the puck in for St. Louis, has Federico parked in front of the net against Terry Johnson. Mullen comes up with a loose puck to John Tonelli, back into his own zone. Now he winds it up the center. Gets by LaValle, cuts into the middle, ran into a crowd and nowhere to go.
He ran into the blue wall.
Puck is knocked to center, and Doug Risebrough will have to wait as John Tonelli's way offside. Lanny McDonald now holds on. His pass was cut off, bounces indirectly to John Tonelli. Lined up by Natras, and Tonelli doesn't mind paying the price, takes the hit, but kept the puck in. Now the Blues trying to move it out on the boards once again. Reinhart kept it in. Scramble for the puck on the board. They still fight for it there. Now Lanny McDonald goes to the end board, trying to wrap it around. Right on the goal line. Longsley dropped on it just in time. 15:32 to go in the third period on ESPN. Flames 2, Blues 1. Calgary Flames leading 2-1 on goals by Colin Patterson and Hoken Lube. St. Louis had built a 1-0 first period lead on a goal by Mark Reeves. And we're well into the third period now with the Flames on home ice leading 2-1. Here's Jamie McCowan taking the shot for the Flames into some legs. Colin Patterson now couldn't get it out front. The Blues take over. Wickenheiser to Beers into the middle, intended for Ragland, taken back by the Flames. Here's Berezan, takes the shot, deflected by Natras. Over the net and against the glass. Rick Natras back again with the puck deep in his own zone to Doug Wickenheiser, number 14. Missed most of the season with a major knee injury. Wickenheiser dumps the puck in. Blues making changes on the fly as the puck is dumped down the ice by the Flames. They now want to execute a line change on the move. 14:50 to play in the third period. Blues moving the puck to center. Charlie Bourgeois couldn't hold on to it. But Reeves gets the puck over for Gino Cavallini. Cavallini dumps the puck in deep. Al McInnes is there for it, lost it. Cavallini trying to center it, ran into McInnes. And Joel Otto back there as well, and Mullen comes up with a loose puck. Here's Joey Mullen, the 29-year-old out of Boston University, dumping the puck in. The Blues take over as they get a big bounce off the end boards, and Rick Mahar has the puck at center. They want Cavallini to play against Mullen. That's why Jacques Demers has this line matchup, but he'll have trouble getting it in this building because Bob Johnson has the last change. Joel Otto now, number 29. Gets the puck to Al McInnes, up the middle. Poplinski couldn't handle it. Here's Rick Mahar, number 22. A Boston College Eagle graduate. Mahar dumps the puck into the end boards. Reinhart after it, so is Paslowski. Paslowski trying to center it. He devilishly went after the puck on the end boards. Now he has it in his skate. And he'll try and get a stop in play, but he can't. Puck comes loose, and Gilmour's shot went off the skate of Mike Vernon. That was a tougher save than it looked, as Mike Vernon played it very nonchalantly, but he had to get the foot there. The puck is cleared into the Flames bench, and play is stopped.
Well, you're telling me that was a tougher save than it looked. I've never seen a move like Kozlowski made in the corners, getting that puck out to Gilmore. He had his face to the boards. Somehow he kicked the puck straight back between his feet with Al McKinnon standing there. Surprised everyone. It went to Gilmore, and Gilmore got the shot away so quickly that it surprised Vernon.
I think he was trying to get a stop in play and realized he wasn't going to get it, and he decided I better make a play.
Well, St. Louis is one of the few teams that will even consciously try to freeze the puck and delay the game in the offensive zone. A lot of teams like to use the philosophy, freeze it in the defensive zone, but don't freeze it in the offensive zone, and don't let the defensive team freeze it in their own zone like that too. So you kick away at it in the offensive zone, but that time he was looking like he was going to freeze it, decided not to.
Mark Hunter got the puck in the slot. He was quickly checked by Doug Risebrough. The Blues come back again. Mike Vernon looks around, sees a lot of blue shirts, and holds on for a faceoff. Lest you have forgotten this, hockey fans, Bill Clement played with the Calgary Flames for 444 games from 75 through 82. So you know about this city. You moved here with this team. There were 20,000 people at the airport to greet this team when they got home from Edmonton. They're hockey crazy, aren't they?
Oh, it's unbelievable. Most people in North America naturally wouldn't have heard about it, but this town has erupted into such a major celebration. You know, they only have one other professional team here, and it's the Calgary Stampeders in the Canadian Football League. They won in 1971, and they haven't had a winner here. The Flames have only been here since 1980. That, combined with the fact that the biggest rivalry in sports, I believe, is between Calgary and Edmonton. And cities, they're giant rivals, not even in sports. It was unbelievable.
Here's Rick Nathris with a shot. Kicked out by Vernon. Puck is loose in front, and the Flames take over and come out of their own zone. Blues have put on the heat here in the third. Here's Berezan coming back. Poke check. As the wave starts around the Saddle Dome in Calgary. A red wave it is. Knocked out to center. After the puck is Jamie McCallum, number 34. Send it up the middle. Turned back by Doug Wickenheiser. And again, the Flames shoot it out of their zone. Taking a page out of the Blues chapter in how to play defensive hockey. Patterson trying to dump the puck on the end boards for Hokenlube. The Blues cut him off and send the puck to center again. 12 and a half minutes left in the third period from Calgary. Flames 2, Blues 1. There's been no scoring in this third period. And a 2-1 game at this time, is exactly what everyone was expecting from this game. Here's Hokenlube. Dumping the puck to the end boards. Gino Cavallini got there first. Took a pretty good shot from Joel Otto. The Blues come out. At center, here's Rick Mahar, number 22, holds up. Bell going for the net. The shot kicked out by Vernon easily. Saw it all the way. Mark Reeves make that on the inboards to Cavallini. Centering pass. Nobody was there. Bourgeois was trying to get back to the defense. Now here's Reeves again, right out front. Tried to feather a pass through to Rick Mahar. Was cut off by Al McKinnon. Deep in his own zone, here's Bruce Bell. Back with Charlie Bourgeois. Blues and the Flames making changes on the fly. Bourgeois ahead at center to Mark Reeves. He dumps the puck off the end boards. Shot in. Reinhardt trying to get it out. Joe Mullen takes over now. Ahead for Risebrough, too far, and it goes right on the goal. Walmsley leaves it there. Pavis up the middle for Gilmore. Passes it off to Ramage, and in come the Blues with Kozlowski taking the shot way wide of the net. Pavis from the left point, keeping it in. Keeps it on the end boards. No Blues there. The puck stays up on the dasher board. Taken down by Terry Johnson, and away he goes. Takes the spin as the Blues are checking him. Sutter came in to give him a pretty good shot. Johnson flipped the puck into the bench for a stop in play. You're with the NHL on ESPN with the Flames 2, the Blues 1. Jacques Demers, the 41-year-old, has been a coach for a long time. I remember back in the early 70s in the World Hockey Association, he was with the Chicago Cougars and the Cincinnati Stingers. He was a coach at 28 years old.
I think I belonged to the Chicago Cougars at one point. They drafted me in the World Hockey, you know, years ago, and I never ended up playing the World Hockey, but I was Chicago Cougars property. Big deal, huh?
And he even says it out loud so everyone can know.
I was Cincinnati Stingers property, too, now that you mention it. You know that?
And you didn't collect any WHA money?
I know I did this. Well, I stayed in the National Hockey League. I could have gone for a couple of years and gotten wealthy, but I decided to go for the security, a league that I knew was going to be there in a couple of years.
Here come the Flames again with Perry Berezan, number 21, taking a shot, and Walmsley made the save. Now the Blues come out of their zone. They're trailing 2-1 in this game. Kevin LaValle tried to pass it off. Couldn't couldn't do it. Couldn't get the puck through to Bernie Federico. The Flames turn it back, and they're changing on the fly, trying to get the right matchups here. The Blues changing on the fly as well. Federico, Reed, and Herb Raglan on the ice as Jacques Demers has things mixed up. Here comes Federico, number 24. He's not fast, but he's shifty. Gets the puck over to Beers. His shot went off of Mike Vernon, and from the sharp angle, another shot, a weak one that Vernon turned aside. Goaltending has been very sharp in this game. Has been all around the playoffs in the NHL. Joel Otto, number 29, in deep for Calgary. Gets the puck behind the net. Eddie Beers on the boards for Herb Raglan. He can't get it by McInnes. McInnes fakes the shot. Now he shoots it wide. What a play by McInnes, and he shot the puck wide. Shot it so hard you couldn't see the puck.
Boy, he told the whole joke and forgot the punchline.
There you go. After the puck is Wickenheiser, tackled by McInnes as he slid in over the blue line. Another shot, a weak one on Vernon, then he kicked aside off the stick of Jim Pabit. Flames can't move it out. Kept in now by Reeves in front. Vernon made a save off Doug Wickenheiser. Joel Otto to center. He shoots it in and turns for the bench on a line change. Continuous action here. 9 minutes to go, third period. 2-1, Calgary leading. Here's John Tonelli, number 27, for Lanny McDonald. Deflected off McDonald deep into the Blues zone. Pavise takes the bump for McDonald. Pays the price, but he made the play, and here comes Reed to Mahar. Couldn't hold the pass. Reed moves up now. Long shot on Vernon, just wide of the net. Mahar's after the puck. Centering pass to the point. Ramage couldn't handle it. He turns and shoots a weak one. Mike Vernon pulls it out of the air and gets the stop in play. We'll be back with more of the NHL on ESPN. The Flames lead the Blues 2-1.
Jim Hughes, and we talked a little while ago about the celebration here and about how few people in North America really can get a feel for what has taken place here. You know, 11th Avenue was actually closed down after the Edmonton win. The noise could be heard 7 kilometers away. That's 4 miles away. There were 20,000 people at the airport, and the only sad thing Bob Johnson said was he really couldn't enjoy it because the playoffs were still going. Had it been the finals and they had won, it would have been different. But the sad thing was that they really couldn't participate in all the festivities.
To many people in this Alberta city, the Stanley Cup has been won. Here comes Lanny McDonald. Takes the shot off the stick of Lee Norwood and into the stands. We don't have a statistic to report except shots on goal in this third period. 10-7 for the Blues, and overall 31-29 Calgary, but no penalties, no goals, and a decent hockey game in the third.
It is. It's actually a little more wide open than we had anticipated. And Jacques Demers' coaching theory is, and I talked to Eddie Beers, who's one of the Calgary players, and we got to really talk about that entire trade when we get a chance to, and how it's really helped both teams. Jacques Demers says that his team would not be here today if they had not made that trade with Calgary. But Jacques Demers' coaching philosophy is don't give up any 3-on-2s, don't give up any 2-on-1s. And you watch tonight, St. Louis has had 3 men back constantly.
Discipline. Right in front of Calgary Flames. Puck. There's the Blues again. 4 blue shirts in front of the net to move that puck away and move the bodies out. Gilmore at center ice, gets the puck ahead for Sutter. Brian Sutter shoots it. Vernon made the save. Sutter has seen limited action tonight, but now looks like he's taking a regular shift here in the third period. Moving ahead is Jamie McCallum, number 34 for Calgary. In over the blue line, he was checked, but holds on to the puck. At the line, it's onside. Now it's taken away as Jamie McCallum was flirting with danger there, and 2 Blues were right on him trying to steal the puck, and they would have been away on a 2-on-1 had they got it away from him. Here's Vasilevsky now with Gilmore and LaValle at center, but the Flames turn it back. Hoken Lube with a weak backhander that goes wide. Patterson trying to pound it out in front. Now here's Gilmore, number 9, taking over. Dumps the puck the length of the ice. Wants the whistle to get the line changed, and Al McGinnis touches it. Icing it called against St. Louis. We'll be right back with the score. Calgary 2, and St. Louis will be back Sunday night, and so will we as St. Louis and Calgary play game 2, 8 o'clock on ESPN Eastern Time. Tomorrow night, it's the Rangers and the Montreal Canadiens, game 2 of the Wales Conference Final, 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. Stay tuned. We'll have lots of playoff action for you, right down to the Stanley Cup Final on ESPN. Here it's 2-1. Flames leading the Blues. Move the puck out of their own zone. No, they don't. Mullen cut it off with the blue line. Here's Otto to Poplinski, and his shot was blocked. Here's Mullen now, number 7, holding on. Nice move, trying to get the puck out in front. He was knocked down, and the fans want a penalty. And Denny Morrell in the third period has lost the P out of his whistle. Hasn't called a thing in this third period. Here's Al McInnes. Moves the puck ahead. Joe Mullen at center to Jim Poplinski. Mark Hunter now. Ahead to LaValle as the Blues come back the other way. His high shot goes over the glass. He's lost it as Vernon. Dangerous play as the puck bounced right in the creases. Vernon was looking all over for it. Now the Blues at center. Ramage with a long shot. Vernon steered that one away. Slow motion at center as Poplinski dumps the puck in on a line change. Now back come the Blues. Long shot in by Herb Ragland, the Blues, shooting it in at every chance from outside the line. Norwood knocked down. And out of center. Flames chased it, had a 3-on-1, but Wickenheiser was back there to get the puck first. Neil Sheehy chasing the puck back in his own zone. Sheehy, Delaney McDonald. Ahead to John Tonelli. The pass was too far. Wickenheiser takes over now for St. Louis. End-to-end between the blue lines, Phil.
Yeah, we should move the nets out to the blue lines. We talked about that earlier. Let them play between the center ice area, and we won't have to move our necks as much back and forth.
Dump it out, shoot it in. That's the way they're playing. Your Reeds in front. Went after the loose puck. Sheehy knocked it away. Bruce Bell keeps the puck in for Doug Wickenheiser. Centering pass. Vernon picks it out. He scores! Reeds put it in, and it's a 2-2 tie.
Chrysler was saying...
The 9th of the playoffs for Mark Reeds, and it's a 2-2 tie. Wickenheiser and Bell get the assist. I really thought Mike Vernon had pulled that out of the air. It slipped under his glove, though, and Reeds has tied it up.
Yeah, it looked like it was shot right into his glove, but we lost sight of it just when it went into the net. Boy, at this stage of the game, for the Flames to be that lax right in front of their net shows you that St. Louis might have just lulled him to sleep. That's what they do with so many teams. You know, Calgary was pressing them in there and pressing. All of a sudden, they casually come down to the other end. Bing, it's in the net, 2-2. That's the way they play. They really sneak up on you.
Opportunists they are. They'll play that close to the vest, tight-checking game, but give them a hole and they'll pounce on it.
Well, that's it. And you're never afraid, Jim, of them breaking the game wide open with a flurry of goals. So that's one of the reasons why you don't play in fear of St. Louis erupting. So they just lull you into this sense of overconfidence, and when you least expect it, they snap at you like a coiled snake.
And one of their best checkers out of Peterborough, Mark Reeds, has 2 goals, and it's a tie game, 2-2 in the third, with 4:51 to play in the third period. Here comes Rick Mahar, dumping the puck in for St. Louis. After it on the inboard, Reeds is there as well. Cavallini is down in front of the goal. They're down on top of the puck and get the stop in play. The trade that was made between these two teams came in February. It was Joey Mullen, the key figure, coming to Calgary. You won't get a chance again to look at that goal. Here you see it from a different angle.
Reeds walks in completely unmolested with nobody turned around. Now you can see Sheehy, number 5, move in for this guy. But there, Al McInnes is standing in front of the net, actually looking the wrong way. But he knows that Sheehy's pointed their hands along the board. He has to turn and see what's actually coming into play. Anyway, back to the break.
It was Mullen coming to Calgary along with Terry Johnson and Jim Wilson, who's now in Nova Scotia. Charles Bourgeois, Eddie Mears, and Vino Cavallini went the other way to St. Louis. And they're real happy to have those three in St. Louis. Get Bill's comment on this trade that was made a while ago, and I'm sure he'll agree it helps both teams. But play continues here meantime with the score tied up 2-2. Jim Poplinski back in his own zone. Number 24 for Calgary, ahead to Joel Otto at center. Natras had him all lined up. Mark Hunter went to the puck. Now Federico goes to the loose puck at center. Here's Mark Hunter moving up. Goes through 3 Flames and a long score! Woo! Wow, what a hole he found.
Boy. Well, I'll tell you one thing. They may have lulled the Flames to sleep now, but everybody in this building is awake now. With 4 minutes and 12 seconds to go, Mark Hunter walks in between not 1, not 2, 3 white Calgary Flames sweaters and beats Mike Vernon between the legs. And in dramatic fashion, this game has done a 180-degree turn, Jim Houston. It's 3-2. We were sitting here wondering if we were going to get into overtime. I don't know about you. I was ready for overtime the way these two teams have played.
Tell you what, Bill, Nobody plays with a lead better than this blue-shirted team, the St. Louis Blues, and they have one now, 3-2.
And they only have 4 minutes to protect it, Jim. That's the key for them right now. What a great time for them to get the lead this close to the end of the game.
What a remarkable turnaround. Calgary Flames will watch the films of that one, and some defensemen will take a scolding as Lanny McDonald moves it out of his own zone. The Flames will try and open it up, but look at the Blues get back and line up across the blue line. There's a steal now. Rick Bahar breaking away, going it alone. Bahar shoots off the goal post. Chance to put it away, and it went off the post. Here comes Lanny McDonald. The Flames will have to gamble, and the Blues may get more chances like that. Gino Cavallini is number 17. Couldn't get it out of his own zone. Riseborough is at the side of the net. Tonelli in for the puck. He couldn't get it out front. Jamie McCowan swings at it on the boards. The Blues trying to clear it out. And down on it is Jamie McCowan to get the stop in play. The scoring play, Hunter's 5th of the playoffs from Federico at 15:43.
Jim, we talked about the trade that they made with Calgary. What a trade it was with Montreal to acquire Hunter from that organization. He just had a wonderful season in St. Louis and became a prolific goal scorer. He scored over 40 goals in St. Louis. And St. Louis, I really have to compare them to the Hartford Whalers, the way Emil Francis has built his team with trades. This organization is so full of players that really were cast-offs by other teams, but under the tutelage of Jacques Demers, who is really, there's no other way to put it, he is loved by his players. His enthusiasm and his loyalty to his players, plus they really believe in his knowledge of the game. And let's face it, they're a team with limited ability that is now leading the Calgary Flames in the semifinals of the Stanley Cup. I mean, that in itself tells the entire story of the St. Louis Blues.
Demers says they're a team of destiny. And we'll see as this playoff continues. The Flames shoot it in and goes over the glass.
I'll tell you another thing. The New York Rangers think they're a team of destiny.
And the Montreal Canadiens think they're a team of destiny.
And I'll guarantee you that the Calgary Flames think there's a little bit of destiny surrounding this organization too, although they'd like to attribute their victory over the Edmonton Oilers to hard work. Certainly there was a lot of hard work, but boy, when you get this far, you'll take any break you can.
Well, you go back to the first period, and Mark Reed's lucky goal off the skate of Perry Berezan got the Blues on the board. They have 3 goals now. They got a break in the first period, get 2 here in the third, and they're up 3-2, trying to protect it with 3 minutes left in the third period. Blues 3, Flames 2 in Game 1 of the Campbell Conference Championship. Joe Mullen couldn't hold the puck at the line. Blues take over. Here's Doug Gilmour, number 9. Not too many Blues will get in deep. They'll have one man, one of the forwards hanging back, so there's 3 Blues back all the time. You see, there they are. Here's Mullen to Joel Otto. Otto holding on, back to Sheehy. His shot went into a crowd, didn't get through. Mullen shot it wide. He was almost lying on the ice when he shot that just wide of the goal. Taking no chances, Natras clears the puck to the line and hits Federico. Here's a 2-on-1 for the Blues. Federico with Gilmour. To Gilmour. To Federico. Couldn't hold on at the side of the net. Here's Gilmour out front. Vernon stops him and holds on.
Boy. Jim, the Calgary Flames are simply standing around watching, you know, and that's what happened on the Mark Hunter goal. Federico and Gilmour came in on the 2-on-1, lost the puck. Gilmour still had time to walk back out in front of the net and try and stick it in. Federico makes a nice little flip pass. Now, Gilmour could have one-time it here, chooses to give it back. Federico runs out of real estate. Watch, the puck goes behind the net. He'll kick it over to Gilmour. Where are all the Flames? Come on, guys. You got 2 minutes to go and you're down a goal. You tell me if this is the same Calgary Flames hockey team that knocked out the Edmonton Oilers. They just haven't come with the intensity tonight. That's the story.
They're not playing the Edmonton Oilers either. They're playing a team that won't open it up for them, won't give them any room to skate. Edmonton gave them a lot of 2-on-1s and 3-on-2s, you know, and the Blues haven't given them any.
Sure. The big challenge. Oh, here's a break.
Lou with a steal, moving in, he shoots it. Wamsley makes the save, and that we may look back on as a save of the game.
Well, at this stage, that has to be the save of the game, and I'm wondering if Hawken Lube wouldn't have been better advised as he skates around with his head up in the air and hitting his stick on the ice to have not buried his head and gone with a big slap shot. You know, when you get into that range, if you have any kind of wrist shot at all, you can usually pick a corner and score. The only reason that wasn't offside is that one of the St. Louis Blues touched the puck. There was Lube. He wound up for the big shot. You really do lose so much control of the puck when you wind up like that. That shot should be reserved for when you're further out. Lube was in close enough to actually precisely shoot where he wanted to shoot. Instead, he went for speed instead of location, and it didn't pay off. You know, when talking about the difference between the Oilers and the Blues, the challenge for the Flames tonight was preparing for the game, and they didn't do it properly.
Now they're in a hole, down 3-2 as Jamie McCowan shoots from the point after the Flames won the draw, but the Blues get it out along the board. Less than 2 minutes to go in regulation time. 3-2 St. Louis. They thought they could steal one here. Maybe the first one. Looks like they're pretty close to it. Here's Rick Mahar going for the net. Vernon standing his ground, made the save. Mahar had nowhere to shoot. The Blues checking. Mahar, Reed, and Cavallini, they're checking line on the ice. Now the Flames coming back. Berezan was tripped in front of the net. Won't be any calls now, though. Reinhart moves up to get the puck. Trying to get it out in front. He can't. Norwood clears, but not out. McInnes with a shot. Bouncing puck went wide of the net, and Walmsley has 2 Flames all over top of him. He kicked his leg out, and that puck bounced right underneath it, I think, and went wide. 1:19 to go. We'll watch Mike Vernon and see if he comes out of the net. Here's Risebrough centering for Calgary. Gilmore's after the puck. McInnes keeps it in. Vernon is staying put in the goal. In the corner now. Risebrough centering pass. Reinhart has knocked off the puck. Coming up with it is Mark Hunter. 1 minute and 2 seconds to go. Mark Hunter in on Al McInnes. Cutting for the net. Hunter is poke checked by the goaltender Vernon. Now right in front. Gilmore couldn't get it. Reinhart takes over and sends the puck to center for Calgary. Vernon looking towards the bench. Hasn't moved to the bench yet. 45 seconds to go. 3-2 St. Louis leading. After the puck is Sheehy. Vernon still back in his goal. They haven't pulled the goalie yet. Here comes Reinhart. Put it ahead, intended for Doug Risebrough. Vernon is halfway to the blue line, but not out of the net. 34 seconds to go in the third period, and Calgary is called for icing. They won't get Vernon out right now.
Boy, and they needed to get him out so much so. You know, so many coaches in the NHL today, Jim, insist on getting their goalie out on the rush. They don't want to do it when there's a face-off, and I've never really understood that. A lot of them think that they're going to catch the other team by surprise. But, come on. With 2 minutes to go in the game and you're down by a goal, you know that goalie's coming sooner or later. They had a couple of chances to get him out. Now they're left with a face-off in their own end, 34 seconds to go, and they've called a timeout. They're really going to have to do some huddling here.
Bob Johnson issues some instructions. His team down 3-2. This will give us a chance to remind you that tomorrow night you can see the Rangers in Montreal in Game 2 of the Wales Conference Final, 8 o'clock Eastern. And Sunday night we'll be back here for St. Louis and Calgary at 8 Eastern as well. Stay tuned to ESPN for the NHL playoffs right through until the Stanley Cup Championship is decided. Speaking of the championships and the teams that are left, did you know of the 4 teams that are left in the hunt for the Stanley Cup, only 3 players from the top 20 in scoring are left, and not a 50-goal scorer, and that says a lot about the kind of teams that are left.
You know what it says about the game of hockey, too, that it may be going back to the way it used to be, where the grinding type of hockey and the great defensive hockey can really excel enough in the clutch situation to win. Edmonton refused to change from their wide-open style. That's why they are not here.
The old board up the net and play for a tie.
There you go. Sure.
The face-off is in the Calgary zone. Rick Mahar against Joel Otto. Otto won the face-off cleanly. Calgary clears the puck to center. They'll try and get the goalie out. 28 seconds left in regulation time. The Blues keep it in, and they do a whale of a job defending here. 20 seconds to go. There's a pass cut off by Reed. He's been sensational tonight in a checking role. Shot it right on Vernon. The Flames may never get their goalie out. Now they try and move up. At center, here's Joey Mullen. Long shot in. Walmsley kicks it out. Vernon gets to the bench with 7 seconds to go. Time is just about out. 3 seconds to go. The Blues clear the puck to center, and the St. Louis Blues get the win they need in Calgary. A 3-2 victory over the Flames.
Boy, what a big victory. You know, you come into a series like this on the road wanting to get one of the first 2 games. They knew the Flames were going to be down, and they snapped them one right off the top. And I'll tell you one thing. I don't think there's any doubt in our minds, and there shouldn't be anybody at home, that our Hartford Insurance player of the game is Mark Reed for the St. Louis Blues. Usually classed as a checker and cast in that role by Coach Jacques Demers, came up with 2 major goals in a 3-2 game. When you get 2/3 of your team's output, Jim Houston, that's a big output.
And Mark Reed isn't known for scoring goals. You pointed that out. He scored the goal in the first period that made it 1-0, and he gets the goal that tied it up in the third period. That came at 14:42. Mark Hunter will get what proved to be the winner as the Flames defense parted for him. And I guess the key, as Mark Reeves is the Hartford player of the game, the key for the Calgary Flames coming back here Sunday night is intensity. Be ready for the game.
Boy, you know that they have to approach the St. Louis Blues the way they approach the Edmonton Oilers, with the same intensity. Not the same game plan, not the same format, but with the same intensity. And that's exactly what we didn't see. Even had they won, I would have